click below to watch the original Sins video.
Everybody's looking for a way to get real gone.
Okay, here we go. Focus.
Car narration.
But this isn't really narration, it's just Lightning talking to himself. For someone who spends as much time as you do bitching about narration, it feels like you should at least know what it is.
Are the helicopters anthropomorphic, or are there cars inside the helicopters flying them? And if these helicopters are on their own, why isn't there a whole world full of them having helicopter races?
I'm gonna go ahead and send this comment for inadvertently inspiring the existence of the Planes movies.
If they were a car outperforming the others like this, especially at the end of the race, then the race wouldn't ever be in question.
The fuck do you mean, the end of the race? It basically just started.
Also, if every part of these cars are actual living appendages and need to be changed periodically, like the tires, it really starts to make you ponder the question, if I replace all the parts of an old car, is it the same old car, or is it a new car?
Between this and the robots video, Jeremy sure does love just bringing up the ship of Theseus as if it's a sin and not a thought experiment that also applies to the real world.
Tony Stewart.
I'm Bob Cutlass, here with my good friend Daryl Cartrip.
Get it? It's just like the Flintstones, for cars. This race also brings into question why there are nothing but male cars driving in it. Are male cars inherently faster than female cars? What kind of bullshit is that?
Most sports leagues in the real world also tend to be gender exclusive. Whether or not you think that's a good thing is definitely up for debate, but Jeremy sent this as if it was an invention of the movie.
10 yards, unsportsmanlike conduct.
There's no way the rookie can make it through.
Chick deliberately causes a massive crash that takes out most of the other cars and somehow faces zero consequences. Jeremy fails to send the fact that this car is sponsored by fucking Apple.
Piston Cup officials have determined that a tiebreaker race between the three leaders will be held in California in 1 week.
Hope you didn't have plans. Also, why not just fucking race right now? And why is that gotta take place in California?
Why not California? It's as good a place as any for this.
I get what you're going for here with the hustle and bustle of life, but is there any highway in the US with this much fuckery of exits and entrance ramps going on?
Jeremy has clearly never been to Texas. Now don't get me wrong, the fact that he has not been to Texas is not the sin. Do not go to Texas. I'm just saying that if he had been in Texas, then he would know that highway systems like this definitely exist in real life.
By the way, this car getting a ride from a truck doesn't endear me much to Lightning McQueen, but I'm already having trouble figuring out why I should root for this guy since he's been nothing but an asshole since the movie started.
Yeah, that's the point. You're not supposed to like Lightning right now. That's what makes his eventual redemption arc so much more worth it.
In this world, you can get a ticket for running too fast.
If humans were giant metal armored beasts that could cause serious injury and property damage upon crashing, I'm sure we would get tickets for running too fast in real life too.
Oh man, you get to work with Bessie. I'd give my left two lug nuts or something like that.
The whole movie is filled with like this. Also, in 2006, this was right around the time you thought, man, Pixar has a perfect record. They may lose that perfect record. Why, Cars? Why?
How absolutely dare you?
The movie wastes time with a Lightning McQueen nightmare, where Chick Hicks gets the Dynaco sponsorship. Something we don't give a about right now because Lightning has been nothing but a big asshole this whole movie. We like Chick better than this dude, so it seems like a good fantasy to us.
Chick almost killed a bunch of cars at the beginning of this movie. Sure, Lightning's been a bit of a dick, but he's not done anything that bad.
If you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right.
Is he talking about race cars or sexual fluidity or city planning?
That was actually a pretty good joke, so I'll remove a sin.
Wait a minute, are all the countries the same in this car world? I mean, the exact same American flag? Was there a Revolutionary War where George Carr Washington crossed the Delaware? A midnight ride by Paul Revere? A traitor by the name of Benedict Arnold?
If you're gonna complain about the puns in this movie like Daryl Cartrip or Breaking News, then there's no way in hell that I'm letting this shit slide.
I mean, have you ever seen him race?
Doc did zero actual racing in that scene. He let Lightning speed off ahead and get himself stuck before coming up to him to have Mater get him out.
He won 3 Piston Cups.
He did what in his cup?
Oh, come on. That was a fun joke.
Come on, let's take a drive.
Tractor tipping last night, lazy afternoon drive today. It's almost like Lightning wants to follow the script more than he actually wants to get out of this town. Every single daylight hour should be spent paving that f***ing road. But no, he's just blowing it off every chance he gets.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this part of the movie. Lightning's priorities are shifting.
Falling in love while racing along deserted, dangerous roads? This is a Bond movie without the humans.
Looks like we have Jeremy to blame for the existence of both planes and cars, too. These rock formations in the background look like cars. Nature sure does work in crazy ways.
How great would it have been to see this place in its heyday?
It would have been the same town, only with more traffic.
Thank you, Jeremy, for making it so incredibly clear that you missed the entire point of the last 5 minutes of this movie.
It's kind of nice to slow down every once in a while.
Sure, but you have a race to win, and judging by the sunset, you just wasted a whole day not doing the thing you knew to do in order to make it to that race.
Again, the point of this movie is that the race and the glory are becoming less important to him. For all the shit you've been talking about this movie, you sure do seem to have no idea what's actually happening in it.
When I finally got put together, I went back expecting a big welcome. You know what they said? Your history.
I have never known a time in sports history when an athlete was still in his prime and got completely ignored just because that person suffered a season-ending injury. You probably still have an owner who would pay for Babe Ruth to be on their team if they could afford the exhuming costs.
Doc's actually based on a real man called Herb Thomas, who drove the real-life Hudson Hornet car and ended up having his career ending in basically the exact same fashion. In fact, a commenter on the original Sins video pointed out that this also happened to another racer named Martin Donnelly. Basically, what I'm saying is that this kind of thing actually does have precedent in real life.
What did Luigi tell you, eh?
Wow, you were right. Better than a Ferrari, huh?
The message of the next montage is that if you buy a whole bunch of stuff, you are suddenly a good person.
Yes, this scene is dumb when you interpret it in such an insultingly simplistic way, but here's another interpretation of it that isn't as dumb. Support local businesses.
Is over. While the world's been trying to find you, Dinoco has had no one to woo.
Lightning's been gone for nearly a week, and the damage is done, and he already knew Dinoco was wooing Chick, but is suddenly motivated to get that stupid sponsorship again because his agent tells him this stuff he already knows.
Get out of radiation stinks now, or Dinoco is history, seriously.
Did this Pixar movie really need Jeremy Piven doing his entourage agent shtick?
It's funny that Jeremy mentions Jeremy Piven here, as for some reason, he used the UK version of the film where Lightning's agent was played by Jeremy Clarkson instead.
It took 6 writers, including a writing team, to write this movie. Yeah, this movie.
Kindly fuck off.
You are a toy car!
Disney gives itself ideas for future cash grab remakes whenever this Marvel thing inevitably crashes and burns.
The idea that Marvel will ever crash and burn is hilariously naive. Seriously, I know they've gone through a rough patch recently, but things really seem to be looking up. Thunderbolts and Born Again were great, and the new Fantastic Four movie looks like it's gonna be amazing.